Sega and Nintendo have had a bit of a complicated history. Despite their differences, these rivals turned business partners have always had one thing in common: a very popular IP. You'd be hard-pressed to find somebody who'd never heard of Super Mario or Sonic the Hedgehog before. I happen to be a fan of both franchises, and in my experience with the games, there's been one musical piece from both that stuck out to me. Their notes are the exact same between the two games. I don't mean similar instruments, I mean these two games almost share a song. I'm Lemon Cake Studios, thank you guys for clicking on this video. Let's jump right in. First, we're gonna need a little history. Once upon a time, it was the 80s, and there were video games, and they sold bad. But then they didn't, because Nintendo came and made good video games that everyone liked. You've probably heard a few of them before. Metroid, The Legend of Zelda, Donkey Kong, Kirby, Little Nemo the Dream Master. But by far, their most popular video game for the NES was Super Mario Bros. This game pretty much single-handedly saved the video game industry from dying, not to mention creating the best-selling video game franchise of all time. Like anything on Earth that makes money, Super Mario Bros. Was bound to have sequels, and spin-offs, and merch, and a theme park, even a movie. Psst, I made a video about it. The link's in the description in case you want to go watch it. But for now, we're going to talk about the sequels. A few years after Super Mario Bros., we got Super Mario Bros. 2, twice, Super Mario Bros. 3, a couple games for the Game Boy, and Super Mario World for the SNES. All these games were great, but you know what they had in common? They were 2D. If Mario was going to stay popular, he would need to have a whole new game that took advantage of the new technology Nintendo was working with. And so, in 1996, Nintendo released one of the most revolutionary video games of all time. It would redefine what a video game could be and would blow gamers' minds with something they'd never experienced before.
It's me, Mario!
Uncompressed voice clips. Not really. 3D in their new Super Mario 64. I'm not going to go into detail, because you've probably heard people talk about how great this game is. Its fluid movement, its varying locales. No, what I want to talk about is its music. This game has so many iconic tracks, from the bouncy, energetic feel of Bob on Battlefield, to the intrigue and mystery of Inside the Castle Walls. I think one of this game's most underrated tracks is Koopa Road, the theme that plays whenever you enter a Bowser level. It's dark and foreboding, and really embodies the atmosphere of journeying through the course to take on the boss. You might want to remember this tune. From everything you've just heard me say, I've probably made it sound like Nintendo was the king of gaming back in that age. But no, there was a little bit of rivalry, a little bit of competition from another company that was challenging Nintendo. Sega! In case you didn't know, back in this time, Sega wasn't just a game developer. They were a console manufacturer. They had their own systems that played their own games. Speaking of Sega games, you've probably heard of this one before. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog has a bit of a reputation nowadays in terms of game quality, but ever since the days of the Sega Genesis, his music has been incredible. Every game would deliver new, atmospheric, beautiful tracks, with some of my personal favorites including Chemical Plant Zone from Sonic 2, Hydrocity Zone from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and of course, City Escape from Sonic Adventure 2. And even when Sonic was at his lowest, the series was still pumping out incredible tracks. If you follow the Sonic series, you've probably heard of the mess of a game that is Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. This game was rushed in pretty much every way possible, but at the end of the day, it still had a top-tier soundtrack. Let's take a look at some of them. We got Wave Ocean, White Acropolis, Kingdom Valley, Crisis City. Wonder what that one sounds like. What? Is it just me, or did that sound weirdly similar to Cooper Road? These two songs have the exact same 5-note progression. Why does a Sonic game have a literal copy-paste of the intro to a Mario song 10 years older than it? Okay, copy-paste might sound a bit intense, but still, look at the sheet music. You don't have to be a music student to see that those look virtually identical. I should probably emphasize that neither of these tunes is the entire song. In the case of Cooper Road, it's not even the main melody. But still, the parts that are similar are so similar that if you just look at the sheet music, they're indistinguishable. How did this slip through the cracks? Okay, it might seem like I'm reading too far into this, but it wasn't just this one-time occurrence. Both of these songs were re-released in future games. Just 1 year after Sonic 06's release, we got a remix track of Cooper Road in Super Mario Galaxy. But that wasn't it. In 2011, Sega released Sonic Generations. This game was meant to call back to all the previous Sonic platformers. Each level in Generations was a remix of a previous zone or stage from another Sonic game. And guess what stage they chose from Sonic 06? Crisis City. Now, I'm not saying Sega did this on purpose. I think this was an honest mistake on the part of the sound composers. I bet they just wrote the music thinking it was their own original work, not knowing that Nintendo already wrote a song using that motif. I want to end the video by saying that I didn't make this with the intent of putting blame on somebody, or saying one company copied another. I just thought this was an interesting find that no one commented on before. Speaking of comments, I want to know what you guys think. Was it just a coincidence? Maybe you think I'm delusional, and there's no similarities between these songs at all. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. If you guys enjoyed this video and want some more like it, consider subscribing. It really helps support the channel and lets me put out more videos. Until then, this has been Lemon Cake Studios. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.